Detained, and today we're going to talk a little bit more about the war with Iran, because unfortunately a whole bunch of things happened within just the last few hours that I want to discuss, and it's my job to do those sorts of things because, foolishly, I became a YouTuber right before World War III possibly started happening, so how fun. Anyway, let's get started. So the very first thing that I want to talk about is the funeral procession that happened for Soleimani, the general that was killed in Iran, and I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong. Now, the funeral procession was honestly shocking, to say the least. It involved thousands of people, possibly tens of thousands of people, according to some reports, though it looked like a lot more. It looks like millions. I haven't actually seen a real count of how many people actually attended yet, but I'm going to do something that I don't usually do in these videos, and I'm actually going to show a clip of the funeral right here, and as you can see, that's a lot of people. An unbelievable amount of people. So many people, in fact, that it makes me question why they would ever think it was a good idea to go to war with Iran in the first place. Anyway, I'm going to put that aside. What I'm basically saying is that there's a lot of people that got really upset really quickly with the United States bombing and killing what is basically the second in command, or at least the second most popular person, just under the Ayatollah Khomeini, I believe, in Iran. People are upset, they're mourning, they're crying, they're freaking out, and unfortunately, as you would expect with a crowd this large, a bunch of people did end up getting trampled. I believe it was something like 56 people ended up being trampled to death in the middle of this crowd. But moving along from that, the next update that I have to talk about is the number of Iranian politicians that were all in a government building on camera chanting "Death to America." It's a quick update. Just wanted to tell everybody about that. Here, you know what? Since I'm editing, here's the video of that too. Oh, fuck, what have we done? Oh, fuck. Now, moving on from that, we also have probably the smartest man in the world, Donald J. Doofus fucking Trump, deciding to, I believe it was probably tweet out, because he tweets everything out, that he was already targeting 52 different spots in Iran where they're going to bomb the fucking place or send in planes, I'm not entirely sure. And because Iran, at one point in history, held 52 prisoners that were from America. So that's kind of strange. It almost seems like they already had those 52 plot points marked out on the map long ago before Donald Trump decided to tweet that out. And maybe they were just like, hey, you know what, Donnie? We already have these 52 places that we have pinpointed on a fucking map that we're ready to bomb, thanks to a bunch of bullshit that happened years ago with another president and another bunch of people. Why don't you just bomb there? We already have it. We already have it laid out for you. It's easy. Just sign your little fucking dumbass, goofy name on the dotted line and press that button, you ignorant. Now, moving to my final update, I want to talk a little bit about the Iranian citizens and American citizens of Iranian descent that were detained at the United States-Canada border in British Columbia just yesterday. And yeah, that's happening right now too. Are you surprised? Because I sure fucking wasn't. Anyway, dozens and dozens of Iranian citizens and United States citizens of Iranian descent were detained at the United States-Canada border for between 5 and 12 hours to be questioned. They took away their passports, so they couldn't leave. They were stuck in a situation where they weren't able to go back to Canada because they didn't have their passports, and they certainly weren't allowed to go back home to the United States because they didn't have their passports. So these people were unfortunately stuck in limbo in between the two countries at a fucking border crossing for hours and hours just waiting to be allowed to be released. Now, at least, were a little bit humane about it, I guess, where these people were probably sitting in dentist-style waiting rooms with a fern next to them and a bunch of magazines on the table, but that doesn't really mean any fucking thing at all, considering these people weren't allowed to leave. They were stuck in a situation where they could go out to the parking lot for a smoke, but that's as far as they could fucking go. And as far as I'm concerned, detaining somebody even in the most luxurious of prisons is still fucking detaining those people against their will, and especially considering that a lot of these people were United States citizens who should have been allowed to cross through just like everybody else. Anyway, those are the updates, but now I'm going to give you a little bit of information about what you can do. Now, what can you do? Well, there's a whole bunch of anti-war protests going on across the entire country, across the entire world, in fact. And getting involved in any one of those is going to be extremely beneficial. Not only will you be another body in the sea of bodies that are saying, we don't want this fucking war, but you're also going to be positioning yourself in a perfect situation where you can actually talk to some of these people that are protesting and push them further to the left and get them, to be bread-pilled. Give them a little bit more information about anarchism, socialism, Marxism, anything that might help, and then we might actually be able to save this fucking planet. Now, that's one way. The other way is also making sure that if you live in the United States and you have the ability to go out and vote in the upcoming election, vote for Bernie fucking Sanders. He's the only one that's actually offering some sort of solution to fix these fucking problems, and he's the only one that actually said that we shouldn't go to war with Iran in the first fucking place. So, a vote for Bernie is a vote for anti-war, at least with Iran. So keep that in mind. Anyway, my name is Aaron. This is my show. If you had a great time, please hit that fucking subscribe button and leave a comment or do whatever the YouTube people tell you to do. Anyway, talk to you later.